reasonable doubt. You have the right to meet your accusers face to face and to cross-examine the witnesses for the prosecution. You have the right to summon or subpoena witnesses to testify on your own behalf, and you do not have to testify against yourself. You have the right to counsel. If you are unable to afford a lawyer, the court will appoint counsel to defend you. You will be assessed a $25 fee for appointed counsel. You will not be denied a lawyer if you're unable to pay that fee. However, at the end of your case, you may be ordered to repay assigned counsel fees if your judge determines that you are financially able to. If you choose to hire your own lawyer, you have the right to a reasonable continuance in order to do that. This morning, you are not here for your trial. You are here for your arraignment. Your arraignment is an opportunity for you to be informed of the charge or charges against you, for a bond to be set, and for you to enter a plea. You do not have to make any statement about the charges against you, but any statements made by you may be used against you. When your name is called, we'll ask you to come forward to the podium. You'll be asked when you received a copy of your indictment paperwork and whether you understand the charge or charges against you. By law, you have 24 hours before you must respond to your indictment. If it has been less than 24 hours since you received a copy of your indictment, for example, if you only received it this morning, but you wish to be arraigned anyways, you may waive that 24-hour notice and we'll complete your arraignment this morning. You'll be asked how you wish to plead. You may plead not guilty by reason of insanity, guilty, or with the court's consent, no contest. Even if you want to plead guilty and do not have a lawyer, we still may assign counsel for you so that you'll have a full understanding of all of your constitutional rights. Your case will be assigned to a judge whether you plead guilty or not guilty. If you refuse to enter any plea, I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. If you have been charged with a crime of violence and or any drug offense, under Ohio law, you cannot knowingly have, carry, or use a firearm. This is known as being under disability. If you violate this disability, you could be charged with a separate felony offense in addition to the charge or charges that you're facing here today. Even if you have a CCW permit, you are still under this disability until your case is over. In fact, upon indictment, the sheriff who issued the permit shall suspend it until your case is over. Finally, if you are over 18 and have not yet provided us a sample of your DNA since 2011, you may be required to submit one within 24 hours of your arraignment. Please call the first case.
Call a bail case, Andre Thompson, 686-578.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Loomis, P-E-L-U-N-I-S, 0070888, on behalf of Mr. Thompson.
Morning.
Acknowledge receive the indictment, waive reading thereof, enter a plea of not guilty, and request that the bond that was posted in Cleveland Heights Municipal Court be continued.
All right, very good. I'll accept the waiver and the plea. I will continue the original bond, which is the 15,000 CSP. Mr. Plutis will note you being retained on the matter. This case will be assigned to the docket of Judge Daniel Gall. First pretrial will be on January 31st at 9:30 a.m. All right, sir, step over to your left, please.
9:30 a.m.?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
The bail
You as
case,
well.
Alma Hernandez, 686-554.
Morning, Your Honor.
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, thanks.
Your Honor, John Dowell, 216-696-4514, standing in for Michael Goldberg, who's been retained. We acknowledge receipt of the indictment in excess of 24 hours, waive the reading, and are pleaded not guilty, and ask that the original document continue.
All right, very good. I'll accept the waiver and the plea. I will continue the original bond, which is a 15,000 CSP. Order her to have no contact with the victim. We'll note Mr. Goldberg being retained on the matter. This case will be assigned to the docket of Judge John P. O'Donnell. First pretrial will be on January 2nd at 9 a.m. All right, good luck, ma'am. Step over by the deputies, please.
Jail case in 9 South, called Tyler Richardson, 687-697. The advocate would like to make a statement.
Okay.
Morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Spelcy, how are you?
I'm well. Kevin Spellis, on behalf of Mr. Richardson. Judge, we're going to proceed with the indictment.
Just for a second. I understand John's doing well, huh?
Feels a little better.
Crazy. Yeah.
Lucky as well.
I was, my cousin's husband's father went to buy a new car, and he was with his son. Yeah, okay, Dad, finished with the paperwork, I'm out of here. Heart attack.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Anyways, all right, Mr. Spelcy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge Worden received the indictment in excess of 24 hours. We waive reading thereof and will plead not guilty. As recommended by the imposed.
All right, Mr. Mackin?
Your Honor, first we have a statement from the victims and then state's position.
Very good, ma'am.
Yes, this is a victim, this is a statement from both victims. They are sisters. They are both listed victims in this case. They state that we as victims urgently plead for the highest bond and continued incarceration with no chance of bail following a vicious assault on us by the defender, a stranger we've never met. As women, mothers, wives, daughters, and sisters, we are requesting your consideration because we no longer feel safe and secure in our neighborhood. The safety of our community is at stake, and releasing the defendant could pose a significant threat to others. We implore the court to prioritize the well-being of the community and ensure the defendant remains detained to prevent any future harm. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Mackin?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is requesting a bond of $500,000, cash for your property, no 10% for the defendant. It's alleged that on December 2nd, a little after midnight, the victims were walking home from around the corner from Lakewood into Detroit when the defendant stopped his vehicle, drove by him in his car, turned around, came back, stopped his vehicle, got out of his car, dropped his pants in front of them, made sexual comments to them. The women continued to walk, and the defendant ran up on one victim, knocked her to the ground, got on top of her, ripped the clothing. The second victim, female victim, came to assist. He got up off the first victim, pushed her down, grabbed her cell phone, she threatened to call the police, threw it, and then knocked her down also, and then ran away. So for the safety of the victims and the safety of the community, the state is asking for a bond of $500,000.
Mr. Mackin, were the alleged victims adults or minors?
They're adults.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Spelcy?
Judge, thank you. Your Honor, I've had this case now for probably close to 2 weeks. So in that 2 weeks, I can tell you that nobody's thought it necessary to provide me with any police reports or any information that I can combat other information with. However, I will indicate to you, Judge, that he was hospitalized after this in Lutheran, where he was then released back into custody of Rocky River after his lithium levels were deemed appropriate. He's a mental health case. This case, Judge, is frankly no different than many others. Just unfortunately probably where it happened in Rocky River, and for some reason people in Rocky River seem to think that they should deserve better protection than everybody else. This bond is commensurate with other bonds that have been recommended in these types of cases. I'd ask that this bond recommendation be allowed.
All right, thank you. I will accept the waiver and the plea. I'm going to set a $75,000 CSP bond with GPS standard monitoring, order him to have no contact with the victim and to supply us a sample of his DNA. Mr. Spelcy, will note you being retained on the matter. This case has been assigned to the docket of Judge Peter J. Corrigan, and first pretrial will be on January 8th at 9 a.m.
Judge, thanks a lot. Have a nice Christmas.
You're welcome. Have a good holiday, Mr. Spelcy.
All right, another bail case, come back in the courtroom. Nathan Carell, 687-099.
Ms. Tipping, how are you?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm well. How about you?
Can't complain.
Good.
All here on Friday?
Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. Your Honor, Mary Jo Tipping, 216-781-0722, on behalf of Mr. Carell. He's been in receipt of the indictment for more than 24 hours, waives reading notice, enters a plea of not guilty, and requests that a personal bond be imposed.
All right, accept the waiver and the plea. I will set a $5,000 personal bond, order him to have no contact with the victim with CSR, and order the TPO to continue. Mr. Mackin, any information that gives you pause for concern that there should be GPS on her? Or Ms. Tipping?
Your Honor, my client has his own apartment at this point. I have no information that he's been in violation of any no contact order or the temporary protection order. He works full-time. Your Honor, he's not going to have any contact. I don't believe that a GPS is appropriate. He has no prior criminal history.
All right, well, Mr. Carabal, just to be clear, no contact means no contact. Don't write, don't email, don't text, don't send smoke signals, not directly or indirectly. Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Tipping will note you're being retained on the matter. This case will be assigned to the docket of Judge Kelly Ann Gallagher. First pretrial will be on January 9th at 9 a.m. All right, step up by deputies, please.
Thank you.
I will go back into jail. To Brian Howard, 687692, co-defendant A.
Good morning, Your Honor. On behalf of Mr. Howard, we would enter a not guilty plea, acknowledge receipt of the indictment, waive reading of it, and any defects in time or service. We would ask that the court appoint counsel, and we would ask to briefly address bond, Your Honor.
All right, what would you like for me to know about?
Your Honor, we had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Howard through our staff in central booking. Wanted the court to know he was born and raised in Ohio, has plans to pursue his high school diploma, lives with his mother and 4 siblings in Euclid. He is concerned that he will miss medical appointments if he is continuing to be incarcerated. I would ask the court to take those factors into consideration and consider a lower than recommended bond.
Mr. Meyer, does the state have a position on that issue?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is asking for the high bond. In this matter, his medical issues stem from the fact that he was shot while committing an aggravated robbery of an older individual. Throughout the aggravated robberies in this case, this defendant and his juvenile co-defendants were choosing to go after women with children, older males with children, people with handicap placards in their cars. When he was caught, they took a pursuit by police and the police helicopter. So for the safety of the community and to ensure his appearance in court, the state was requesting I believe $125,000.
All right, I'll accept the waiver and the plea. I will set a $100,000 CSP bond, order him to have no contact with the victim and supplies his DNA. I do note a possible warrant out of Euclid, also GPS standard monitoring. Mr. Howard, do you have the money to hire your own lawyer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know who that person's going to be?
Not at the moment.
All right, well, in the meantime, I will assign Attorney Carlos Johnson to represent you in this case. This case will be assigned to the docket of Judge Cassandra Collier-Williams. If you retain your own attorney, he or she will know what to do to get involved. And the first pretrial will be on January 3rd at 9 a.m. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Same case, co-defendant B, Neri Wallace. That is the West Indies.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have Ms. Wallace?
Yeah, give Mr. Wallace come. Thank you.
She's around.
Miss Wallace, I'm sorry, yeah.
And there is an email from the public defender's office inserted in the packet.
Your Honor, on behalf of Ms. Wallace, we enter a not guilty plea, acknowledge receipt of the indictment, waive reading of it, and any defects in time or manner of service. I understand from a colleague that while we were representing Ms. Wallace, we would be withdrawing due to a conflict, so we'd ask that counsel be appointed in this matter, and that the court order the recommended person left.
All right, very good. I'll accept the waiver and the plea. I will set a $2,500 personal bond, order her to have no contact with the victim. Ma'am, do you have the money to hire your own lawyer?
Yes.
Who's that going to be?
I'm looking at two for that no network hours.
All right, well, in the meantime, I will assign Attorney Wes Dumas to represent you. If you retain counsel, he or she will know what to do to get involved. Your case will be assigned to the docket Judge Cassandra Collier Williams, and the first pretrial will be on January 3rd at 9 a.m. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Female jail, Deborah Russell, 683-112, co-defendant A.
Take your time. I'll give you a second to get out of here.
Thank you.